Hello? Okay, oh, there's people in here. Just kidding. Okay, alright, so I don't think there's anybody in here, but there's a couple things I want to touch on Graveyard Girl's apology. She posted it like 3 days ago on her Banana Peppers page, and it was just so stupid because she was basically trying to talk herself out of it. Like, she wasn't taking blame for anything really. And all right, let's pull it up and we'll go through it.
Hey everybody. Let's see.
All right, I'll put headphones in. I look like trash. Am I trash? I'm trash. I currently have no headphones, so what the F? I have somebody watching. Hello. I'm currently looking for my headphones and I don't know where they are. Oy. Hold on. I'm taking you with me. We're going through to my house. What are you watching? What? Without Dad? This is a dilemma. These headphones are new, and I don't know where they are. Okay. I think they're in here. Oh, we have a winner. Wiener. The light's behind me. Should I, like, change where I'm sitting? I've never live streamed on YouTube before, okay? I'm panicking. Okay. My brother's making fun of me. Okay, so let's watch this, quote-unquote, apology. Okay. I'll put it so you guys can hear it.
To determine if I can make this video or if I should make this
I look
video,
like a mess.
and to ensure that my video and my actions resulted in no consequences or people being fired or people getting in trouble or, you know, the manager or anything with my Starbucks store. And I put up a video, you know, a Starbucks rant, which was stupid and short-sighted, and I realized that it did, you know, make me seem like an asshole and entitled and whatever words we would like to use to describe me or the situation or my mood in that video. I mean, I don't really have an excuse for uploading that video. I literally was just coming here
this whole
on
video,
my second channel
she's making
to
excuses.
vent and complain.
Like, the whole video, she's making excuses the whole time, and she's, like, contradicting herself the whole time she's talking in this video, and she's literally repeating herself the whole time.
Whine about something that I completely perceived as a policy change, and maybe
It's not a policy change. The policy has always been the way that it was. You get your refill if you're sitting inside the Starbucks and you don't leave. Like,
I can talk about that just a little bit, but if I knew then, what I know now, I would have never made that video. All I can do is say, of course, I regret posting the video and I apologize for posting the video.
You're not sorry you posted it. You're sorry that you're getting so much backlash. Like, you're not the type of person to be sorry about it. Like, you're just sorry you got caught and people are calling you out on your bullshit.
So I feel like anybody who does know me, who is familiar, know me as much as you can know any YouTuber, but people who are familiar with me, I think you can tell in all earnesty that I would never genuinely, knowingly do something harmful to other people. That's just literally not the type of individual that I am, and it's utterly up to you. It's your choice to believe whatever you want to believe about me, but in complete and total honesty, it is not my intention to ever do anything harmful. Most videos here are longer format, so a 30-minute long video is not out of the norm on this channel, and most videos on this channel do not hit 100,000 views, and it was really not out of the norm of any other video on this. In that video, I tried to voice that I was very irritated that day, very irate. I tried to recognize...
Okay, but just because you're irritated, that doesn't mean you need to take your irritation and anger out on retail workers. Like, as a retail worker, we already deal with shitty customers all the time, and you're bringing your entitled ass in here and you're gonna act like you're the above all, be all, know all, end all, everything, and you're gonna get annoyed at the person who is telling you they can't give you a freebie anymore because you've never heard the word no? Is it that hard? Like, we've all seen the video that Shane made about her, and her house is huge. Okay, her house is huge. She has multiple cars, and I don't understand why it's that. Like, this whole video, she never once addresses the fact that she can always pay for it, because the main thing that people were saying throughout every video everybody's been talking about is that she has more than enough money to pay for it, and she just doesn't bring that up in this video at all. And she said that she checked the comments, and the first one or top one that she saw was that all the people that work at that Starbucks are going to get fired. Well, now corporate's probably going to see this video because it's getting so much heat. They're going to see that what Starbucks you go to, because I'm pretty sure it won't take that much if you try to figure out which Starbucks she goes to. And those people are probably going to lose their jobs because they're not following policy. And, like, as a retail worker, when you're put in a situation like that where people are taking advantage of kindness to some extent, like people are taking advantage of policies, and like, let's say like one time you go in there and you're like, yeah, we'll give it to you through the drive-thru this time. Okay, and then you end up doing that 4 times a day? Like, how does somebody drink that much coffee and iced tea? Like, I drink a lot of water, but water is good for you, and you're putting all this caffeine in your body. Like, I don't understand it. It just makes no sense to me. And corporate's gonna go to there and have to investigate and talk to all these people, and they're all gonna get in trouble because she's famous, and everybody knows that Bunny has fans that are like diehard, and that every YouTuber has fans that will support them no matter what they do, even if it's
nice,
like
I sound
out of
bratty,
character.
That it sounds bitchy. I knew that wasn't like obviously the greatest side of myself, but we all do and say things that we regret, that we wish we hadn't done or said, that we wish we could take back. I do feel like, even though you maybe wouldn't do or say exactly what I said or did, you might do something that's roughly the same. Do you know what I'm saying? This is my norm, is to just come to YouTube and kind of like, especially on Banana Peppers, just sort of like plop down and just kind of say whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm feeling, just sort of like in a stream of consciousness style. I'm not ever really, sketching out or thinking what the videos on this channel are going to be. It's just sort of like, oh, something happens and I end up talking about it.
But you have 7 million followers on your main channel, you have almost 700,000 on the Banana Peppers. You think people aren't going to see your videos just because it's a channel that doesn't get as much traffic as your main one? You think it's not going to get views? Like, that's just ignorant to think that.
This was certainly never a situation that I was trying to garner a lot of support for, that I thought I was in the right, or I wanted a bunch of people to rally for me. You know, this is not where my core audience is. This was never a Graveyard Girl situation. This was just me as a person feeling irritated and feeling like kind of weird. It's just something that just made me feel bad, and I was just kind of like lashing out, and things that people found the most angering was that I said, I'm looking for new baristas to come in, or I'm ready to see fresh faces, and that literally did not mean that I wanted or hoped that a bunch of people would get fired and it would be a whole...
Then what else could you mean by that? What could you mean by that? I don't understand that. Like, that's basically saying F you to all these people because they're not giving in to you, and you want new people so you can take advantage of them too. Like, that...
new crew that would hopefully cater to my every whim. There's certain crews that work at certain times, that work on certain days, and different crews work on certain days. And I was just having like weird, once again, I can't get into details and specifics, but it's just like, if I knew then what I knew now, it's like I would not have taken it that way, and I would not have interpreted. And so I literally did not mean anything like that about that statement. Once again, it's my fault completely for not expressing myself in a better way, or just not talking about it in conversations with the district manager before. She's a very nice person. And literally, I thought, it sort of is, it sort of isn't. This is definitely a very gray area issue. But I literally thought that this was an absolute policy that for whatever reason, this particular store might have ended or changed or whatever. And so I literally was going to call and say, hey, is this going to be something? Is this going to be a change?
Why? Why do you need to? Why does it have to go to that level? Why do you literally need to say you're going to call a district manager just because you've talked to them before? You're going to call a district manager and complain and get all these people in trouble. Like, that's not, like, really? You have more than enough money to pay for it. You're that mad that you can't get something for free, and you're acting entitled to the point where you want to call a district manager and complain about it? Really? Okay. And that's so irritating.
Forever? Is there maybe another store, that's kind of like around driving distance from me that might be following the same policies still? It was not, oh, I want to call the district manager and report this situation or get anyone fired. That's just not how I think about things.
Okay, but that's what would happen.
Video up with any ill intent. I just literally wanted to riff and get stuff off my mind. I've come to find out that, once again, this is sort of like a gray area policy. I don't really want to get into the terminology of the policy or what I thought was in place or what I thought was going on. I do know that I absolutely was not receiving special preferential treatment at this store.
Okay.
This is just the way the store was being operated, that there were many, many, many regular customers that were receiving refills. It was not just me.
I find that hard to believe. And those people that were receiving refills were probably staying in there to do like schoolwork on their computers and use the Wi-Fi. But
I get into specifics of like how many people and who and what, and why I was absolutely so convinced that this was a policy. I mean, despite the fact that obviously the Starbucks website like states what the policy is, I've even had many conversations with baristas from other stores and whatever. Different policies seem to be enacted differently in different stores that are run by different people, that are in different portions of the country, that are in Target versus a freestanding store that's maybe like a franchise versus something else. I mean, yes, I do understand that they have an overall policy, but it's just literally like when something is part of your norm and then it just like at the time it's just like I didn't have all this additional information from the various people that like are directly like in my life, and so I thought it was the norm, and I thought that overall you know, for whatever reason the norm was no longer the norm, and I was frustrated by it. It doesn't mean that I, you know, ever would want anything to happen to, you know, this store or any of the baristas that work there, etc., etc. It just means that I was irate about a company changing its policy.
They didn't change the policy!
In this situation, it was quite apparently like something that was already, like, it's something that Starbucks is, as a corporation, attempting to crack down on. There are quite apparently many people that do what I was doing, which is, you know, going throughout the day, purchasing various drinks, and getting a refill, you know, along with making other purchases. And then quite apparently people that were just getting, you know, just not being honest about it and truly abusing the system, which that does suck that, you know,
like you were doing,
do take advantage of things like that, and then that's why nobody can get it. But as I thought and as I suspected, this was not some special preferential treatment that I was being given because, you know, I'm Graveyard Girl. Like, as if that really means anything in the scope of the entire world. It doesn't. I know a lot of people want to know why I privatized the video, and
is that even
it's
a word?
Just, like, literally, I'm a human being, and I said something stupid, and I did something stupid, and, you know, I logged back in to upload, like, the last video on this channel, which was, like, that squishy video, whatever, logged it back in. It's not like I had forgotten I had done the rant. It just wasn't on the forefront of my mind. Like, nobody was really talking about it. It wasn't really a big deal. It was just a banana peppers, you know, in this little inconsequential being an idiot and ranting about something that literally I knew I was being a brat, and I really did try to express that it wasn't even really a problem, but if you wanted to call it a problem, it was definitely a first world problem. I was never trying.
You sat through and edited the video and uploaded it. And if you have to clarify that you're not trying to be a brat or whatever, you probably are being what you're trying not to be.
To compare it to any real issues or real problems. I was just literally trying to get, you know, blow off steam, I guess you could say. But, you know, I had logged back in to upload the latest video on this channel, and, you know, I saw that Starbucks rant, and I was like, oh my god, this is just so stupid. Like, it's just kind of like one of those moments where you're just like, put your foot in your mouth, you know? So I had already had it in my mind that I wanted to privatize the video or delete it, whatever language we want to use.
You just can't handle hate. Like, you can't handle people telling you about yourself. You can't handle people telling you things you don't want to hear because you did something stupid and you can't handle that. And you don't want to hear people pointing out things. Like, come on. You're backtracking because you're scared. Like, this Graveyard 2.0 thing is not
but I decided before I did,
good.
Let's just open it up and see what people are saying, right? Can't hurt. Clicked on the comments, and the very first comment that I just so happened to read, I don't know if it was like the top comment or whatever, but it was like, oh my god, she's gonna get so many people fired. And that comment literally filled me with such complete and total panic over the situation that I absolutely, you know, if I didn't already intend to privatize the video at that point, I definitely would have privatized it. And, you know, then that sort of started
well, you were gonna call the district manager, so obviously your intent was to ruffle somebody's feathers. How do you Like, what do you think is going to happen when you call district manager? They're just going to be like, oh, okay, sorry about that. Like, that, obviously she's never worked in a place where they have a corporate standpoint where a district manager does not care about anything that the employees are saying because the customer is always right. The district manager is going to have a sit down with the employees that work there, and people are probably going to get fired if they haven't already. Because that's just how district managers are. That's just how the corporate world is. They just pay attention to what the customers say, and very rarely do they get the actual side of the story.
Of like, well, I want to go talk to people. I want to make sure that I haven't done any harm, that I couldn't possibly get anybody in trouble. And I just basically wanted to talk to the people that I talk to every day. I still talk to them every single day and just, say, hey, this is what I said. I was mad. I acted like an asshole. I said things that I wouldn't say again. I said things that I regret. And, literally only one person there knew that I had made the video. And I mean, who knows, people might be saying they didn't see it, maybe they did. I'm just saying I explained myself, I apologized. Nobody is treating me any differently. Nobody is making a big deal out of it. I've talked to some higher up people, and
why
it's just not on the radar, you know what I mean? I haven't really been addressing it or talking about it or wanting a lot of people to tag Starbucks or anything else until I got all the answers. That it was embarrassing on my part, but not harmful. The only thing that I do find upsetting is that this has sort of morphed into some narrative that I am rude to baristas or I'm rude to, people at work anywhere. And once again, I can't convince you of that. I do say that I make an honest effort, like every human being I think should, to say please and thank you. Can I have this? Could I get that? Am I willing to commit and say that every experience with me is a bag of rainbows? And I do attempt with people normalcy of the situation. It's not because I feel like I'm special or entitled.
Okay.
I still just roll up to this day and say, hey, it's Bunny, can I get my blank? A lot of times they will greet me before and they'll just say, hey, what do you want? What are you here for? I mean, once again, I don't think that that's rude when people don't greet me with the official, hi, it's welcome to Starbucks or whatever they say.
See, by you saying that, you're going to get people in even more trouble because they're not following the standard procedure where they're supposed to say, hi, welcome to Starbucks, what can I get you? By you saying that and putting this on the internet, people are going to see that. And once again, if the district manager sees that, they're going to be like, why aren't you guys following the procedure? Why aren't you following the prompt? Stuff like that. She lives in her own bubble and she doesn't understand the side from a retail workers, in the food industry. She doesn't understand that side of it because obviously she's been doing whatever on YouTube for however many years, and she just is completely oblivious to how the world works other than her own house.
No idea. Haven't heard that greeting in forever. Because I just don't have that conversation with people. There are certain baristas that I do prefer over others. Once again, just out of familiarity, or they make the drinks a little bit different. And I feel like any barista I've ever known, some people will say, hey, I'm really good at making frappuccinos over this. So, once again, was I driving through and requesting certain people sometimes to make my drinks? Sure.
Do you know how much of a self-confidence hit that is? People with anxiety, depression, any of that. If they're on the intercom for the drive-thru and you tell them, hey, can so-and-so make my drink, instead of the person who's actually doing it, they're going to be like, oh, well, what's wrong with my work ethic? What's wrong with me? Why aren't I, what am I doing wrong that I can't make this person's drink? Do you know how that makes somebody feel? I don't understand how it got to the point where people treat food service workers and retail workers like they're slaves or they're less than anybody, because I don't get that.
Think that was bad or rude or an inconvenience. No, it's just
it's rude.
With a group of people.
It's really rude. And you said that you want to meet new people and see fresh faces, but if you keep requesting the same people, you're contradicting yourself. How are you supposed to meet new people and see new faces if you're sticking with the same people every time you go there and you're going multiple times a day? Did you ever think of the worker's point? Like, oh, I don't feel like making her another drink again. This is her 5th time here today. I have to make the same thing over again. I'm busy. Like, what if they're busy doing something else that needs to be done? And then they don't finish it. And then their manager is going to be like, how come you didn't finish this? Oh, well, Bunny came here and requested me to do this. Like, I don't understand how people don't think of this stuff. Ugh.
And, you know, just the MO of how things have always been. I've got lots of baristas, you know, that are extremely kind to me, and they still ask me this. Like, they know, like, oh, sometimes the coffee gets me through, you know, a little, like, a travel cup would sometimes, I did all the things that I was trying to say in the video, I didn't get out right, obviously.
No, you just... You're sorry you got caught. Like, you're not... It doesn't make sense. Like, you're pissed, and you already did probably lose a shit ton of subscribers for this whole problem, and you're putting out this BS apology to try and get people to like you again, this and that, but it's literally not working.
You know, my big thing is I perceived it as a policy change. It is somewhat of a policy change.
No, it's not.
But my thing was, I was trying to compare it to like a Sephora VIP Rouge situation where Starbucks is obviously not like shopping in a grocery store or getting gas. It's a luxury. It's something, you know, it's like a treat for being such a loyal. Yeah, I'm ignorant in this.
Yeah, you are.
You might agree with me. You might not agree with me. Ultimately, I don't believe this view is harmful in any way. But I don't. 5 stars or something gives you a free item of your choice. You know, it could be like food or drink or baristas. They know, you know, which customers have been in, which customers freaking. It would be nice if Starbucks, you know, maybe did have some sort of like regulars program or something like.
Why do you need that? You don't need that. Like, you have all this money. You don't need a coupon thing where get your 7th drink free. Like, really? I don't get it. Like, for somebody that posted a video in a Gucci dressing room trying on Gucci clothes, and you're gonna sit here and complain over a $5 drink. You're spending, what, $20 a day at Starbucks, like, paying for it, which you probably absolutely never do. Like, what?
That, I mean, it might not be realistic, but a girl can dream, right? That was sort of like the meatiness of the argument. I did say that, oh, you know, I feel like maybe not getting the refills would promulgate me to go less, but I feel like I've sort of been explaining in snippets that I'm trying to make healthier choices. One being, I think that I should frequent Starbucks less. I think I should consume without that additional perk. I would be inclined to visit less, which is what sort of like made me feel it's completely my fault that the information got misconstrued.
It didn't get misconstrued. You just didn't think before you talked, and you are trying to dig yourself out of the hole you dug yourself in. It didn't get misconstrued. What you said was pretty black and white, and it was pretty obvious how you were acting. It's,
you know, sort of thought of in another way, because, you know, anytime there's something like this that happens, I feel like obviously it's my fault because I'm not expressing and conveying my thoughts.
Well, obviously if this happens a lot, then maybe you need to reevaluate yourself, because if it keeps happening over and over again, you have to keep repeating this process. Like, there's some, like, you need to look at yourself in these situations, and it's not like it's the world against Bunny.
Like, oh, you know, she was getting this, she was ordering this, whatever, so here is my standard Starbucks consumption throughout the day, with the exception of, you know, like unicorn frappuccinos, zombie frappuccinos, like specialty drinks, which I would get made just the way that they make them. Pumpkin spice, of tea, a lot of extra ice, skim milk, and coffee. No specialty drinks, no frappuccinos, nothing like that. They were always giving a clean cup, which drinking out of that whether you were coming on that stuff, like, oh, you were here an hour ago or 2 hours ago or whatever, and store a lot and literally just drink like 12 drinks a day. I understand rules are rules, but I was literally just arguing from a policy standpoint that seemed a little silly to me. Once again, I might be totally wrong. I might be an asshole for thinking that, but that's literally just what I'm thinking about. Why wouldn't I send him a DM? I think they follow me on Twitter. Like, why wouldn't I send him a DM and say, hey, I feel so wrong? Really don't feel like I have too much else to say about this subject. Love to come here and just hang out and talk about whatever. You know, I was just very irate that day, like, not only because of the Starbucks situation that was going on. Honestly, they don't have to tell me any details, but obviously, you know, I just feel like context helps. And once again, if I would have known then, Starbucks tomorrow, like, literally, I feel like Starbucks is like, you know, it's a big part of my life, and you guys may, like I said, I feel like I was irate and there was some miscommunication that over and over and over and over again for me. And I certainly did not think it was just for me, and it was not. I feel like a lot of people said that I was talking about anxiety or depression, and by no means was I using it as an excuse for the way I was acting or as an...
Honestly, if you seriously have anxiety to that point where it's so bad that you can't leave your house, you should probably go see a psychiatrist so they can help you out. Because in all your videos, you always complain about the same thing and you're never talking about treatment, this and that, which leads younger viewers who feel the same way as you to think that, oh, you just deal with it. Like, if it's that bad, then talk to a doctor. Seriously, like, I have anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. Like, talk to a doctor. Get diagnosed, because there's so many people that self-diagnose themselves, honestly. And for somebody that says they have anxiety, this and that, she's always going to crowded places, this and that, like, ugh. This is a case where I feel like she's self-diagnosing herself. And that's what irritates me, because people who actually live with these mental illnesses, we don't choose to have it. And just because you feel anxious sometimes doesn't mean you have anxiety. That
excuse for bad behavior or as an excuse to be, you know, just gross and irritated. I mean, it's certainly not an excuse. I was just sort of trying to express at that moment, at that capsule of time, why certain things maybe were, you know, just, I feel like sometimes I just don't process things very well. And I am, you know, taking steps to better myself. I'm just saying things don't affect everyone the same way. You know, the way that anxiety happens for you may not be the same way that it happens for me. I by no means was using it as an excuse for bad behavior. I was just trying to tell you guys at that point in time, like, where my mental say. I can help anyone. The road to bettering oneself by, you know, talking about anxiety or depression in that video. I was just kind of just ranting about all sorts of things. I can't make you like me. I can't...
Well, you're not doing a good job at letting people get to know the real you, because if this is the real you, so let's read some of the comments. Somebody commented and wrote, right now my insurance refuses to pay for life-saving medicine. I like you, but please put this in perspective of things that actually matter. Exactly. That wasn't even an apology. That was just her explaining herself. I don't understand people. The collab with Shane just like made her go off the edge. Like, I can't. Yeah, and then somebody comments, how do you not remember to say please and thank you every single time? Like, is it really that hard for you to say please and thank you? I can't. Like, and then somebody said, I'd take you more seriously if you weren't wearing those obnoxious glasses and overanalyze every single sentence. Which is true. So it's somebody wrote, an honest apology takes 4 minutes to make. I feel I feel not truly apology in this 30-minute video. I admire you, but you should get some help if you aren't already professional, not YouTube. Which is so true. Like, I can't. Somebody wrote, don't be surprised if they spit in your drink. Oh my god. Is she even like tipping these people? Like, they were giving her free drinks for God knows how long, how many years? Like, is she even tipping them? Like, I don't understand. So somebody wrote, if you hadn't gotten so much hate on the first video, you'd be feeling really good about yourself and your rant. And then they said, I'm not buying any of the damage control, which is so true. She's not sorry it happened. She's sorry she got caught. Yeah, and somebody said even if it was a legitimate policy change, you still would. Hold on. Whoa. Even if this was a legitimate policy change, you still would have no grounds to complain. Like, it's not like you work a job getting minimum wage. You're not getting minimum wage. You make so much money from AdSense and views and subscribers, this and that. Like, why is it? I don't understand. Like, there are worse things going on in the world that need to be focused on. I feel bad for the people who are probably going to get in trouble at their job for this. Don't need to explain. Get mad. Somebody said, is she bipolar? This whole, like, these comments are insane. Literally, she was abusing the system. Like, you're just making excuses for yourself. This whole video is just her making excuses. It's irrelevant. Yeah, like, Shane wasted his time, I feel. Because I love Shane, but Shane literally wasted his time and his effort because this just didn't do anything good for her. Didn't. Man. I don't. Like, if I get something for free, I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. Oh my God. Like, if I'm getting something for free for a very long time and then I don't anymore, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. But I'm not gonna call a district manager about it. Like, come on, talk to higher ups, please. I honestly, I feel like those people are probably gonna get fired. I'm going to try and make this brief. 30 minutes later. All right. Well, this was weird, but yeah. So I don't know. Maybe if there's updates after this, I'll make another one. But like, this was not an apology. This was not an apology. It was just her making excuses the whole time. It's really stupid if you ask me. Like, it's not that hard to just be like, I'm sorry, I messed up. Like, you're literally losing all the subscribers that Shane got you, and people are just. It's like one thing after another. It's like a domino effect. Nothing is getting better. I just she and then she said she's gonna stop making rant videos. Well, obviously you should. Like, I don't know. All right, guys. Bye bye.